Namaskar and very good morning to everyone. I am Mehli Ghosh from the School of Nanosciences, Central University of Gujarat. Welcome you all to this webinar organized by Vigyan Gujrari, Karnavati Unit in collaboration with Gujarat Technological University. In this student innovation based state level competition for all from the various fields is organized. Expert talk will be delivered via webinar from dignitaries on various topics. Mentoring will be provided by expert to shortlisted participants. Industrial visit will also be provided depending on the COVID situation. Also, prize money will be given for the first 3 positions. Now, I would like to address a few words towards Vigyan Gujrari. Vigyan Gujrari is one of the state level organization under the umbrella of Vigyan Bharati. Vigyan Bharati initiated as Swadeshi Science movement in the Indian Institute of Science by a few eminent scientists under the guidance of Professor K.I. Vasu in 1991. Vigyan Bharati has units in 22 states across the country. The main of Vigyan Bharati is to champion the cause of Bharatiya heritage with a harmonious synthesis of physical and spiritual sciences which nourish each other and flourish together. Today on this day of the webinar, we have Mr. Arjav Patil, HOD SAP IT, to share his experience with us in this expert lecture. Giving a brief about Mr. Arjav Patil, I would here state that Mr. Arjav is a techno-functional information technology professional with a proven record of achievement in implementing effective strategies in various industries through inspiring leadership, innovation, hands-on approach, and vast ERP and IT experience. He has more than 12 years of experience in the field of information technology, especially in enterprise resource planning and enterprise level applications along with servers and networks. He is currently HOD of SAP IT in Sadbhav Engineering Limited and performing roles of CIO, CTO. So today's topic of discussion will be ERP and essential future technology. We welcome you, sir. And all the participants may use the chat box option to ask a question during the session, which will be answered after the session. Now I am handing over the session to Mr. Arjav Patil, and I request you, sir, to deliver your speech.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction, and thank you Vigyan Gujrari and GTU for giving me opportunity in this expert talk session of innovation, Student Innovation Festival. So today's topic is enterprise resource planning and essential future technologies. So what is ERP? In 2005, if you ask anyone what is ERP, then most of the business people don't know about ERP. But today, most of businesses and business owners know about ERP. But why this topic is relevant today? Enterprise resource planning with essential future technologies. We are going through a fourth industrial revolution. Let me put some background for industrial revolutions. In first industrial revolution, mechanical machines and introduction to the steam or water power is introduced to manufacture products. In industrial revolution 2, mass production assembly line using electrical power is introduced. Industrial revolution 3, which is currently going on, and we are in the shift of moving towards industrial revolution 4. So in industrial revolution 3, automated processes, computer IT system, softwares to analyze data and record keeping are being used. Now moving to the industrial revolution 4, we are using smart factories, autonomous production, IoT, AI enabled systems. Our ERP also became smart enough to tackle situation of industrial revolution 4. So what are the basic challenges? So for traditional ERP, basic challenges are for traditional business, which is not even using ERP, their challenges are reliable data is not available on fingertips. data duplication and data integrity issue, manual process is very time consuming, inter-department coordination problem, availability and utilization of resource is a headache, document management and retrieval of any document is also a time consuming. At the any moment of time, accurate profitability, how my income is growing and how my expense is going is not visible to any business owner. So due to these challenges, ERP introduced to the various businesses. Now, what is the challenge for business in Industrial Revolution 4? So our ERP should be capable of tackling that challenges arised in Industrial Revolution 4. So in Industrial Revolution, traditional business models are changing to new business models. So defining new business model and new strategies to compete in a very competitive market of Industrial Revolution 4 is essential. Maximum outcome of resources. If we have a limited resource in the sense of material, manpower, machinery, although we can utilize in a way that we can get maximum and we become competitive in the market at lower costs. Utilize opportunity and reduce risk. Risk is a major factor in industry when we are launching new products or creating new prototypes. There is a huge R&D cost as well as prototyping cost involved in that. So how to minimize that cost is a headache to business. Any opportunity can be encashed as a new business model, which is the demand of the current time. Quick understanding where action is needed. Now data is real time. If we can take action in real time, we can minimize wastage as well as risk of breakdown. Change management of existing processes. Currently, businesses are running under departments and sections. So all sections and departments are interconnected with some mechanism of software or ERP. But in Industrial Revolution 4, the scenario became different. So department are changed to business process driven scenarios. We'll explain that scenario later when we are discussing ERP. Adjust talent and IT resources. So according to the new technologies and challenges, we have to train our manpower and also acquire new manpower with certain skill sets which meet business and industry demand. IT resources and IT technologies is drastically changing. Data growth, sensitivity of data and security of data is a key to the business in this current era of Industry 4. Interoperability of a department. In department scenario, all the working will be done in silos and the data which required to other department will flow to the other department. But this is a bottleneck. So what is the solution? So this session will be divided into two parts. First part we understand ERP and its functionality. Second part we understand essential future technologies. And in third part, with the combination of ERP and essential technologies, which is futuristic, how business can deliver. We understand that. So let's start with ERP. So what is ERP system? For a layman, ERP system is a single platform application which digitalize and automate business operation of all the department of an organization. It can manage all type of resources which are available in the organization. It can control 4M: machinery, manpower, material, and money. These 4M can be controlled to maximize profitability and quality of the business, which is required for a business to run efficiently and competitively. So this is the basic ERP which definition which everybody knows these days. But what is ERP for Industry 4.0? How ERP became capable for Industry 4.0? So optimization and automation lead to enhanced productivity. So ERP should be capable of enhanced productivity with optimum usage of resources, real-time data of supply chain in real-time economy. So in the internet world, we can say right now, our supply chain should be real-time. I have ordered some product from Amazon or Flipkart. Order confirmed by seller, dispatch detail given to me. All the tracking should be available real time. So this is the demand of the current time. Advanced maintenance and monitoring, which enable greater business continuity. So business have a greater risk of breakdown of machinery. So advanced maintenance, which concludes preventive and predictive maintenance. So the risk of breaking down of machinery is very minimal and business continuity is good in this case. Real-time monitoring of quality improvement, which leads to higher quality products. So nowadays सस्ता है तो बिकता है ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. Super quality products are the highly demandable items for current era consumers. Superior sustainability and better working condition. So sustainability is a very key factor in current scenario of any business. Better working condition is good for your manpower. If you have better working condition and sustainability, you have a good quality manpower team and you can retain that team on the trust and loyalty of a consumer. If you are providing good quality, on time deliveries and product at very good cost, then you earn lots of customers. Customer became loyal to you and you acquire new customer, which ultimately convert to profitability and growth of business. So ERP modules to cycles. Traditionally, ERP was working in modules. Traditionally, ERP was designed to work in interconnected modules with single database. So ERP solved the issue of data duplication and integrity. But what is next? What is now required to tackle this fast changing scenario? Now with changing current scenario, modules are converted to the cycle, process cycle. For example, traditionally we used to run department like purchasing, distribution, inventory, sales, human resourcing, customer relationship management, manufacturing, and HR and accounting. But now, in this scenario of cycles, our existing structure of department converted to cycles. So procure to pay cycle. In this procure to pay cycle, department heads became business process owner. So we now companies are changing their business model and strategies. Now each and every process have business process owner. Procure to pay cycle till payment of supplier from starting of procurement is a responsibility of business process owner to that cycle, order to cash cycle, and so on. In new models, strategy are coming with Industry 4.0, which completely change MRP module. MRP is manufacturing resource planning. So in traditionally manufacturing resource planning have lots of time consuming jobs and complexity. So in current cycling method, it will distributed in small processes, and small processes are interconnected with each other, so they can communicate and production became faster and cheaper. So what are the business expectation from a new era ERP? How ERP with future technologies should deliver to us? So mobility of data. Traditional ERP are not web-based mostly. If you are aware of SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, which are well-known ERP in the market, along with that, many other Odoo and Open ERP and other small ERP are also there. But if you go by the traditional method, it should have installation. It required a laptop or computer. So nowadays, these ERP are also providing us mobility of data. So traditional method of Windows-based or computer-based ERP change to browser-based or mobile-based ERP. Real-time data processing and reports, KPIs on the go, which is very essential nowadays for a business owner to take a decision. What should we do to maximize the profit and reduce the cost and wastage? Activity with detailed tracking. Detailed tracking is required for analysis, quality improvement and recording, which is also helpful in future product development and analysis of current manufacturing. Document management at every level. Document management is a very cumbersome job and very giving headache to many employees. So in ERPs, at each and every level, attachment, photo capturing, or document scanning is available, should be available, so that it is simplified for us to keep record of necessary statutory compliance documents. Notification to the user for quick action on events. In traditional way, if issue in production happens, then manufacturing team call the maintenance department, maintenance engineer came to the manufacturing area. They will check the issue, they will identify the problem, they will go to store or any other place where material required and come back with solution. They apply maintenance and again manufacturing will start. So in this scenario, lots of time consumed, and time is money, time is profit. So if you reduce this breakdown events, accurate notification given to you on time, and quick action taken by the concerned user, then you can reduce this risk. Competitive edge on market demand. So now market demand is personal. You can say personalized. Everybody require personalized product nowadays in many areas. So giving personalized products to customer is a competitive edge to the traditional business. Low cost production for personalized product is a key to success. Highest possible profitability with the help of technology give you cutting edge over your competitors. low possible wastage of resources is the demand of this time. So we have understand how ERP works and what is the business demand for this new industrial revolution 4. So how our new era ERP should work. So we are moving to second section of essential future technologies. So this future technology help us in a way to improving our ERP as well as business operations. There are lots of future essential technologies, but we have covered here 7 essential technologies which are currently very beneficial to the industry and business. So first is IoT, Internet of Things. Second is drones. Third, artificial intelligence, robots, 3D printing, blockchain, and augmented reality. So I'll go through each and every technologies in brief. After that, we take various examples so that you can understand how this technology works and how it is linked with ERP to get maximum benefit of it in business. So start with Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? A machine can communicate. Real-time data processing. So Internet of Things is not a technology of 2020. It is been we have starting, you can say in 2005, some or another way, we have started this Internets of Things. So one-way communication is already started, and a decade plus time is already spent over there. So what is the basic definition of Internet of Things? Physical device. Here device is called things, which are embedded with technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other device and centralized system over the internet. So each and every device, sensor, machine, equipment is connected to the internet through whatever protocols will give us edge of real-time data. So IoT have 2 type of communication method, one-way communication and two-way communication. In one-way communication, we receive data, just like temperature sensor, we are receiving temperature data. For GPS, we are receiving location data. If we have a humidity sensor, we are receiving humidity data. So sensor is pushing data through our servers or other devices on regular interval, give us regular update of that particular machine, equipment or device. Two-way communication. In this communication, we can also give command to that particular device from our system or a mobile on or off the relay, so that if for example, if any chamber we have to maintain certain temperature to any chamber where production is going on. So if temperature sensor give us recording that temperature is increasing, so we have a if we have put relay over there for fan or AC, so we can start on off AC from our mobile location. We can automate that process as well with the upcoming AI technology. So for IoT, we are using TCP protocol or MQTT protocol for communication. Nowadays, IoT is very lightweight and data consumption from device is very low. Device can run, gateways can run on 2G and 3G technologies as well. So what are the IoT use cases in industry? Enterprise asset management. Each and every asset, we tag that asset with one internet location. We can manage that asset. We can check that asset health. We can check that asset location with various technology. Just like RFID, we can use RFID, we can use Wi-Fi. If a closed environment is there, we can use GPS as well. Industrial process automation. IoT is very useful in industrial process automation because when we are automating a process, we have to write some rules. So for that rules, we require input data, and these IoT devices give us input data. Predictive maintenance. Any machinery which should be run 24/7 and downtime of that machinery is very costly, then we should use IoT. IoT give us indicator of various data of that machine, which give us health of that machine, and we can do predictive maintenance based on that data changes. Surveillance and monitoring. So surveillance and monitoring is also commonly used nowadays. IoT give us access to that particular camera or surveillance devices from anywhere, from our home, office, or anywhere in the world. Smart home and equipments. Smart home. So IoT is now widely used in smart homes. It is the starting of era of smart homes, but from past 2 to 3 years, IoT is being used in newly built smart homes, where we can automate lighting, electricity management, cooling system, and other equipments such as kitchen equipments and appliances. Smart parking. So parking is a very big problem in big cities all over the world. So resolution to that, new parking areas and parking building are built from local authority or governments. But how any vehicle owner know that this parking slot is available or not? So IoT help us in that way, that smart parking, we from the IoT applications, we got to know that this parking slot in this, let's say Navarampura area, there are 40 parking slots which are available for general public. So we go to any parking slot and book that slot, and other user in that area which are searching for the parking slot got real-time data that one parking slot booked. So this reduce our time and energy. Autonomous farming. So this is the future of farming. Autonomous farming and commercial farming is the key for new farm revolution. Indian government want to increase the income of farmers. These technologies help farmers to increase incomes in current scenario of traditional farming. So farming along with traditional farming, we have greenhouse farming, we have hydroponics, and horticulture and other farmings which gets benefited with IoT technologies. Leakage management. In industry, leakage management is very crucial in production such as chemicals, textile, pharmacy, etc. So from IoT sensor, we get accurate data for leakage, and preventively we can maintain that particular machine or device and stop the leakage on time. Supply chain tracking and control. Companion robots. Robots with IoT is the future for home and business. We'll explain that in robot section. Now moving to supply chain tracking and control. So for supply chain tracking and control, IoT based, GPS based trucks and logistics system, tracker based product tracking is very essential. Wireless inventory trackers. So for huge inventory and big enterprise, wireless inventory tracking with the help of RFID is very time-saving technology. Biometrics, cyber security scanners. So security is a very big concern in this era of technology. So biometric security and scanner used for various authentication require an IoT. Health and sports. For sports performance, new records, which is the wish of every sportsman. Health, keeping good health of any patient or any sportsman or any normal people is the desire of everyone. So IoT and health sensors will give us cutting edge to achieving new heights in sports and health sector. Now moving to drone, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. Change the route and view. Drones, UAV, automation with visibility. Unmanned aerial vehicle are widely known as drones. Drones are doing safe, cost-effective solution range from monitoring to data collection to delivery, and autonomy and collision avoidance technology improvement give drone a cutting edge to do complex and high risk tasks. So what are the drones? Drones are the type of robots, but they can fly. They are the aerial vehicles with limited functionality of a robot. So mostly drones are currently used in very limited area, but they have very larger scope. I have given some major area here. Defense. So firstly, drone was introduced for defense only. It's a defense technology. In military, casualty of an army man or an air force man will cost a nation very high. So drones were introduced to do monitoring, surveillance tasks, and in some case, fight as well. Other use case of drones are given below. Wildlife conservation, disease control. Agriculture, weather forecasting. Mining, construction planning, infrastructure development, telecommunication, internet, aerial landscaping, entertainment, sports, advertisement, retail delivery, manufacturing and inventory management, gaming and security. So here I'll explain very briefly for each and everything. For wildlife conservation and disease control, drones with the certain cameras like infrared cameras and other visual cameras disease on jungle or any crops can be monitored and controlled by giving spray of pesticides from drones. Wildlife conservation, elephant counting or tiger counting can be done by drones, silent drones. So drone can go to deeper area in the jungle without without any harm to any animals. Weather forecasting and agriculture. So drones are used in many areas where human habitation is not there. So drone go to that area, monitor the weather and give data to the weather department. And it will be useful for weather forecasting. Agriculture, drones can spray pesticides, it can monitor crop, it can do many more activities in agriculture sector. Mining supervision is a very key factor for highest utilization of resource and production. So replacing supervisors with a drone give cutting edge to operation team to manage all the fleets of dumpers and excavator. Construction planning and infrastructure development. Construction planning, if we required aerial view of any site, we have to predict in the traditional way that this is the top, this is the front view and side view, so this would be a top view. Now with the help of drone, we are getting top view on the go. So this will help us in planning construction activity in a very good manner. Infrastructure development. If any road construction is going on, and if we want to capture the data of daily progress, then we can also use drones. We used to run drone from location 0 to change 100. Daily drone take morning and evening flight from location 0 to change 100. So daily that captured video and data points for that location give us real-time progress report for that construction activity. In the remote area and remote jungle roads, drones are very useful in this kind of activity. Telecommunication for tower management. Generally, towers are located at very high level. So each and every time human go to the tower top and repair the equipment or monitor or maintain the equipment is a very risky job. So that can be done by drone as well. Internet, Facebook and Google are using drone for internets. They are giving internet via aerial vehicles of a high altitude. Infrastructure of towers is costlier. So for remote areas like Africa and where in density of human population is very less, drones are very cost effective for providing internet services. Aerial landscaping and town planning, drones are very useful. Google Map use drones for landscaping, Google Map and 3D map. Entertainment. For movies, short films, documentaries, drones are very useful. In traditional way, cameraman used to sit on a helicopter and take shooting of that particular movie or scene. So nowadays, with the help of technology, we can use multiple drones to take picture from different angle, and this will give us good picture and viewing angles and quality. And entertainment industry gets benefited by low cost and low risk operations. Sports advertisement, drones use is being done: retail delivery, manufacturing, and inventory management. Walmart and Amazon started delivery through drones. So for areas located in remote places, drones are useful to deliver goods at a very low cost and a faster timing. Manufacturing and inventory management. In big enterprises like Boeing, where your inventory is very huge and your manufacturing area is very big, companies are using drone for movement of goods and manufacturing any big products like planes. Gaming and security. Security, police and government authorities are using drones. It is now very common to use drone at the time of security management of any event or any political rally. We are get in India as well. Drone usage is very common in security. Gaming is a part of entertainment, and drone racing and all are started at the level of US and Canada. Artificial intelligence. Machine can take decision. Artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence in machine. Machine cannot be a human right now, but some of the thinking capabilities of human can be put and programmed in a machine to think like a human and mimic their action in some way. So any repetitive action or any predicted event can be tackled with artificial intelligence in a very errorless way. AI is used for predictive analysis and problem solving. Current corona vaccine research is highly based on AI and related technologies of data modeling and data analysis. So where AI use case. So actually AI is used where you require personalized things, where common or standardization is not demandable. So if any person required, say Ayurveda medicine, Ayurveda work on person to person basis. Each and every person's Ayurvedic medicine dose or mixture of medicine will be different. So AI is best suitable for this kind of scenario. Predictive analysis, personal security. You can train AI model with your personal habits. Your data security. AI stop the breaches of data. It can predict hackers' behavior and stop them before tracking or hacking of your data. Financial trading, healthcare sector, vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination, development of COVID-19 vaccination, AI is the key to reduce the time of successful trials. Generally, vaccine development required 4 to 5 years of time. Sometimes it required more time. But in this case, scientists deliver vaccination in 1 year with the help of AI, predictive analysis, data processing, and data modeling. Marketing personalization. So we used to know that when we are surfing internet, we got some Google ads with personalized products which we have searched in past or in available in our area or whatever the key data they have available. So it will give you personalized experience for marketing. For any business owner, giving personalized experience to a customer is a key to success. Fraud detection, recommendation, AI is very good tool to do this. Online searches, AI give you desired results. So you don't have to go to each and everything and search. Smart card sports advertisement. Smart card, AI can take decision. Smart card is a driverless car, so AI can take decision for driving as well. Smart car have multiple IoT sensors, so AI can manage their sensor, increase the AC, cool the car before owner of that car came, etc. For sports, predictive analysis in cricket, Hawkeye are the use case of artificial intelligence. Natural language processing is a very good example of AI use case. In the global era, we have to convert data from one language to another language. If we have data available in Chinese, we want that in English or Spanish or Hindi. We used to do natural language processing, and which is very tough task. But with the help of AI, we can use that natural language processing easily. Now, next technology is robots. Simple definition of a robot. A robot is a programmable machine capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically with embedded instruction within or by guidance from external control device. So robotics is not new for Industrial Revolution 4. It is already been used by Industrial Revolution 3. Robotic arms in car manufacturing and assembly line is very common to the business. So now how robot can use in other areas. So healthcare, agriculture, home maintenance, manufacturing, security, defense and surveillance, automated transportation and education. So healthcare is a game-changing event where robots have delivered very good results. In the case of COVID-19, where we have to maintain distance with the patient, robot is useful to give services to the patient, medicine, take caring of patient, monitor data of the patient, etc. Education, in medical education, robots are very useful. Traditionally, what will happening? Medical student will learn from the actual body, human body, dead body. After robotics came to the picture, medical students can learn fast with robotics and pre-program educational scenarios in the robots. Along with that, home maintenance and personal servicing. So nowadays, robots are useful in day-to-day routine home works, just like sweeping, mopping, cleaning of house, cooking as well. Manufacturing. In manufacturing, robot is not new, but further a step ahead with the help of AI and machine learning, robot became more useful and more accurate and have decision power for any critical event which happen on the assembly line. So with the help of AI and machine learning, robot became more capable, just like humans, to take decision at the time of manufacturing. Automated transportation. So robots are also used in driverless car or driverless train and flight as well. 3D printing, one of the fascinating technology which changed manufacturing in many areas. Customized manufacturing. We used to get standard products from market for our personalized and customized need. Creating customized product is very costly. 3D printing giving business a cutting edge that they can produce customized products at very lower cost. So what 3D printing means to industry? 3D printing is referred to a variety of processes in which material is deposited, joined, solidified under a computer control environment to create a three-dimensional object of specific design. 3D printing is giving us edge to create object anywhere where printer is available. 3D printing giving us edge. We don't require transportation or logistic for emergency and critical scenarios. If we have parts or medical instrument available at one place or in one country, and we require that instrument or equipment or parts in the another corner of world in 15 minutes or half hour or 1 hour, it is not possible right now. But with the help of 3D printing, it is possible to print that part or a spare in that corner of world where you require a specialized design parts. So where 3D printing use mostly healthcare and automobile is the biggest beneficiary of 3D printing. Every human body is different from other human body. So my ankle, my nose, my elbow is different from another person. So standardization of manufacturing or medical products related to humans are not possible. We have to do some adjustment in each and every product. It is time consuming and highly cost to the patients. So 3D printing gives us cutting edge that we scan our body and manufacture a part or a support or a joint required specific to personalize that patient's body only. So this will give very good result in medical and healthcare field. In automobile field as well, inventory keeping reduced due to 3D printing. What happened for cars and commercial vehicles? Service center and maintenance center have to keep some certain inventory, balance inventory for fast running parts or a specialized part. So keeping inventory is costly. Second thing, it required money to keep that inventory at your place. So in short, we required manpower and money to keep inventory for vehicles for maintenance. But with the help of 3D printing, we need not keep too much inventory at any service center or maintenance center. OEM can print that part if 3D printer is available at that particular service center or maintenance. So inventory keeping is very less nowadays where 3D printing is being used. Jewelry, spare part, spare and replacement part, aerospace. Aerospace is a very good beneficiary of 3D printing. When when we are going to space, any astronaut have a very limited amount of weight they can carry to the space station. So if they take 3D printer to space station and raw material for printing, then they need not to take other required equipments or parts to aerospace. This will reduce the weight of the weight of any vehicle, aerospace vehicle, and this required very good amount of cost saving with the help of this 3D printing. Glasses and eyewears. Every human has a different face structure. So we can print glasses and eyewears, shoes and fashion and smart clothing along with jewelry. Blockchain. The next technology is blockchain, privacy and unaltered data. Blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it very difficult or almost impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. Blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transaction that is replicated and distributed across the entire network of a computer system on a blockchain. So if you do any transaction, it will replicate to each and every system in that blockchain. So altering that data afterwards will not alter data at each and every computer. So it is impossible in current scenario to change or alter any data. So blockchain is very promising technology for a transparent and truthful data. So where blockchain use? We can use blockchain in healthcare, agriculture, education, finance, currency, security, defense, surveillance, each and every area where other technologies can be used. We can use blockchain for particular software designing. Cryptocurrencies are the best example of blockchain. Cryptocurrencies are developed based on blockchain technologies. So blockchain have a hyperledger where each and every record of your transaction is being kept. So in future, our banking system and financial record keeping system will move to blockchain. In security and tracking log, blockchain is very useful. No one can tamper past data. So it will give us very accurate data for analytics. Augmented reality. This is our last future essential technologies of today's webinar. So augmented reality, what is augmented reality? Augmented reality is an enhanced version of the real physical world that is achieved through the use of digital, virtual element, sound or other sensory simulation delivered via technologies. So what is augmented reality means? In a simple language, you can have additional data points to understand any physical system or machine or environment. So if I can show you this picture, here is a photo of one machine where these green and red arrows are developed in augmented reality. If you remove that tablet, only machine will be visible to you. But if you put that augmented reality modeling to that particular machine, the data points to that particular machine give you some additional information to operate and maintain that machine. So this kind of model is useful in training, retail for understanding of detailed understanding of product, repair, maintenance of machinery from remote places, design and modeling, business logistics, tourism industry. We used to read boards at placed at various location at famous places about they are giving us the history about that place and what is scenario created or what are the significance of that place. So with the help of augmented reality, you can show mobile to that particular data point, and you will get all the information about that place, history, and you can get pictures as well. Classroom education. For classroom education, it is very beneficial in this pandemic when remote or distance learning is there. When teacher is not available at your place, they have to, when teacher have to give lecture to thousands of students, student have physical model available, but it is not possible for teacher to give each and every student video demonstration of that product at a time. So augmented reality is useful in giving model based education from distance expert from remote locations. Field servicing and entertainment. Augmented reality is used for entertainment as well. Google used to make models of animals and others with the use of augmented reality. So that for the entertainment purpose of children's right now. Now we move to combination of these two scenarios. Future technologies with ERP. How business gets benefited from this. So we'll take three examples: product manufacturing, project execution, and commercial farming. Now we'll go back to the what are the expectation, business expectation with the ERP. With the help of this future technology, how can we deliver? So mobility of data and KPIs on the go. So when we take first example of manufacturing, so any product manufacturing, mobility of data. So my assembly line is working and producing product. So as a business process owner or a management, I can have a data on my mobile that my assembly line had produced this much of product and semi-finished material is also produced. Any KPI on the go, order pending status, everything will be available on mobile. With the help of IoT, we get accurate and real-time data from the assembly lines. So in product manufacturing, assembly line nowadays most of the assembly lines are automated. So getting data from that assembly line is a key to the success for any product manufacturing business. Real-time data processing and reports. So for manufacturing, let's say we are manufacturing a part where we are checking quality by taking photos from fast camera on assembly line. So when any production of any part is faulty, then assembly line separate that part from packing area. So what happened in traditional way, we used to know at the end of production that X number of parts are defective and we have to reproduce that parts. So if we take example, if my assembly line is producing 100 parts a day, or we can say 1000 parts a hour, and my fifth part is defected. After that, some issue happened to my assembly line machinery, and every part after that fifth part are damaged or defective. So in traditional scenario, I used to know that issue at the end of production cycle. So that production of that batch got completed, and I used to know that I produce only 4 good parts, other parts are faulty. So with the help of IoT and AI, we can minimize this risk of faulty production. So IoT give you real-time data to your centralized system and monitoring team that fifth part is faulty. That is okay to them. In current assembly line, 2 or 3% of faulty production is there. But my fifth part is faulty, my sixth and my seventh is faulty. So now monitoring team gets indicator that 3 consecutive parts are faulty with the help of IoT. After that, artificial intelligence program in that particular machine give alert to the monitoring team that 3 parts are production of 3 continuous faulty parts. So monitoring team got that notification and they closely monitor the next part production. Again, fourth part is faulty. Fifth one is also faulty. Sixth one is also faulty. So operation team now stop that assembly line, or with the help of IoT or AI, with the help of IoT relay or AI logic, we can automatically stop the assembly line and put production on hold and maintain that particular faulty machinery which are putting faults in the production. So in that way, we can save wastage and improve the quality of production. Quality improvement and recording. Just I explained that document management at every level. So the data received from every sensor of an assembly line, which get linked to that particular serial number, spare part, give lots of information about that manufacturing, which is used in support activity. Now this use of this both technology, IoT and AI, we got lots of data which we can model afterwards, and with the help of machine learning, we arrive to new R&D scenarios which will improve our quality respectively. So this is the first scenario. Now second scenario is execution. In any infrastructure project execution, IoT drones are very useful. IoT give us any infrastructure project is generally scattered. If we take an example of any road construction, 100 kilometers of road is being constructed at the time. So 4, 5, 6 teams are working on various activity from which we are getting data. So with the help of drone, we can monitor all the teams from a centralized location. With the IoT, we can get data from production plant for semi-finished material go to site, and we can monitor quality and accuracy. With the help of robots, we can do high risk tasks, just like in an ordnance factory. Bomb making is very high risk task, and lots of humans lost their life during production of bombs. So we can use robots to manufacture a bomb. Augmented reality is very useful in maintenance of equipment and machineries. Artificial intelligence and IoT will give you data for predictive and proactive maintenance, which will reduce your breakdowns of any equipment. So road production, road construction will be very smooth and less time consuming. And third is commercial farming. So in commercial farming, IoT, drones, artificial intelligence, robot, and augmented reality. These 5 technologies are very beneficial. In traditional farming, farmer have no benefit of this technology. So quality of production and quantity of production is less. They have to use more chemicals, fertilizers, and pesticides to produce grains. So using of chemicals is hazardous to human health. So these technologies give us very good cutting edge in farming, so that we can reduce our cost by reducing our consumption of pesticide and fertilizers. So I think 1 hour is completed. So we quickly go for the question and answer session. So I request all of you, if you have any question, then I'm happy to answer that.
Namaskar, sir. I have one question about the IoT.
Yes.
What is actually after the installation of all the things IoT device in the field? What is a life actually you think about that? It is a maximum life of this device's work in the field.
Actually, IoT device have two part. One is sensor, relay, and third one is gateway. So quality is major factor for any IoT devices. So sensor are generally of 2 type. One was home, or you can say normal sensor, and one was industrial sensor. So industrial sensor have a very good life. They used to work for years. So if you have a good temperature sensor, then it is in use for at least 3 to 5 years. And device to device and sensor to sensor, useful life got changed.
Did you found any challenges for the IoT's installations like in the field?
In which particular area?
Any field, what kind of the challenges you found about the IoT's device?
Generally in India, there are two type of challenges. One is the network app, which is day by day improving. So one challenge is of network, and second challenge is local manufacturing. We are still depending on Chinese sensor and devices to execute our IoT modeling. So these two are the major concern right now. We don't have good quality local sensors. We are depending upon China most of the time. And second is network. In a remote area and we have current infrastructure which is not capable for heavy IoT load. For that we require 5G, and 5G is ruling in the country. Within 2 to 3 years, 5G is available. And in 5G and with improved protocol like MQTT, IoT will be more lightweight. So over the period, this network challenge is absolutely taken care. But right now, we solar rooftop solars and other are functioning very good with the SIM-based IoT devices.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I
Any
have
other?
sir, I have a question. Can
Yes, please.
AI replace the doctors from healthcare system, because diagnosis something is just a logical reasoning from the data? So is it possible in future?
No, we cannot replace doctors. Doctor is not just like clerical. Doctor don't do clerical work. They are actually technicians. So they make decision based on symptoms and diagnosis. Diagnosis, the area of diagnostic can be replaced by robots and AI, but you cannot replace doctor. So if you have heard about Da Vinci hand, in Da Vinci hand, doctor can do operation from US to India. So if doctor is available in US and the patient is in Mumbai and Mumbai hospital have Da Vinci hand, then doctor can do operation with the help of Da Vinci hand on Mumbai patient from US. So this is implemented and used by US doctors right now. So we cannot 100% replace doctors or engineers. They are the technical persons, not the
Yes.
clerical ones. So these technologies replace clerical. These technologies snatch many jobs, but create new jobs. So most of the clerical job will shift to the technical jobs. Huge job portfolio shifting will happen in next 5 years.
So can IoT, so you said that IoT influence greenhouse farming. So how does IoT influence greenhouse farming?
So in greenhouse farming required control temperature, humidity, and control, you can say water temperature control, electric conductivity control, all the controls required for good quality and quantity crops. So if you implement IoT in farming, greenhouse and hydroponics, who are the promising technology in the area of farming. So if we put temperature sensor, pH sensor, pH is very useful. pH in hydroponics and greenhouse is very essential. pH is directly linked with the crop growth. So this sensor, pH, EC, temperature, humidity, give us real-time data. Crop growth, with the help of research, crop growth have a certain range of these sensor values. Crop can grow betterly in 4 to 6 pH level in 20 to 25, let's say I am taking one example, 20 to 25 degrees Celsius temperature and 60% humidity. So in greenhouse, we are creating this artificial environment to take all the season crop and good quality and quantity of crops. So with the help of sensor, if temperature go beyond 25 degrees Celsius, I can automatically start my cooling system or fan or AC, whatever I have installed on my greenhouse. Same way, if temperature drops below 20, I can start heater. So in each and every crop, there are patterns to grow, to fertile and give us production. So based on that, we can farmer can take decision and change these indicators via IoT technology.
Okay, sir. Sir, the last question from my side will be, sir, nowadays there is a concept of smart home and artificial intelligence is used there. You mentioned about smart cities. So, how is exactly IoT influencing in smart city, and what is the idea of a smart city, sir?
Actually, smart city have multiple technologies. So if you consider a smart city, so smart city have a good water management system, waste management system, drainage system, internet connectivity, good air, clean and good air, and very good transportation network. So these are the most desirable things for a smart city. So for this smart city, we can use technologies like IoT. We can use drones as well, and we can use data modeling as well. So specifically for home automation, we are generally use IoT, not AI. AI is another level of thinking. If you can say decision making, AI is a decision making technology. So we can write rules. We can use robotics. We are using robots in Industrial Revolution 3 as well, where we put some instruction. If temperature go beyond 50 degree, you stop your working. So this is not AI. This is a instruction based automation. So you can say this is a automation. So home automation is mostly based on IoT only. Waste management, you can use IoT and drone as well for keep tracking and surveillance. For security in smart city, you can use drones. But AI is not directly used in smart city right now. In future scenario can happen, and you can use AI as well in smart city.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So any other questions?
I think that will be all, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you
Sir,
all viewers and listeners.
sir, we thank you for such an informative talk. It was wonderful hearing from you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Namaskar.
Sir, I'll move towards the vote of thanks. Should I?
Yes, yes.
So I would like to thank Vigyan Gujrati, Gujarat Technological University, Mr. Arjav Patil, and all the event partners, faculty, and students for supporting this webinar and making it a success. We have another expert talk on 24th May on entrepreneurship and innovation in 21st century by Mr. Harshal Sanghvi at 10:50 a.m. Do join it for a pleasant session. And now let me call it Fraternity of Basic Sciences here together, and on my behalf extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Arjav Patil for gracing his important work and sharing with us his findings and opinions today. Thank you.
Thank you.